The treatment we get other places is never quite what they get when they come to us.
Yeah, we can name some cities. We won't go into that.
No, we will not.
We won't go into that. So happy, so excited. We have Doug Mouton, sports director for WWL-TV.
I'm not sure anyone's ever said that before.
In the studio. 30 years in the business.
Yeah, more than 30. I try to. I used to be
feels
proud
like
and advertise how many years. Now, I'm like, oh no, it's like 20. Like now, I'm bringing it down so I don't feel too old.
But I mean, you've had such a great career, a Sportscaster of the Year twice for Louisiana, Emmy Award winner, Edward R. Murrow Award winner. I'm sorry, I'm bragging on you.
Yeah, those awards.
And a great MC. You know, you and I share our MC. Auction.
I feel like they get me to MC when they can't get you.
No. I see. That's just the opposite. Thank you for coming in. So many topics that we could touch on. I want to talk about the Saints. I want to talk about the Pelicans. I want to talk about your work with the Sugar Bowl Sports Committee there and what you do. You vote for the Heisman Trophy and all sorts of things. So let's start with the Saints. How you feeling?
I am feeling incredibly optimistic. And I think the city is maybe a little more guarded than me, but I'm ahead of where the city is because they had a spectacular draft. Look, we could talk for the length of the time you have about the quarterback. I am super high on this quarterback. I think he is the guy.
Yeah, Tyler Shuck is.
And I have thought that since the third play of the Carolina game on the road. And look, I love what they've started. I like the head coach. I like what they're building. I'm not saying they're going to get there this year, but I am super optimistic about where this organization is headed. Again, really for the first time since 18-19 or so.
Yeah. What do you think they're looking for in the draft?
Well, I mean, they definitely need to give Tyler Shuck some help. They need some playmakers, whether that's running backs or wide receivers. They need more than one guy I'm talking about. You've got to get him some elite weapons. You could certainly use help on the defensive line. The good thing is you've put pieces in place all over the place. You need some interior offensive line. You still need 6 or 7 or 8. I'm not sure they can fill all the needs they have right now in one off season. It might be 2 more, but I feel like they can get pretty close if they can hit a few more bullseyes.
Yeah, that optimism that you mentioned, I sense that.
There's no doubt you sense it around town.
Yeah.
No doubt.
And, of course, they're going to Paris.
And they're going to Paris. A
little extra excitement there.
We dressed up in, like, stereotypical, mine was actually a mime costume for Mardi Gras. Because I'm super excited. I think it's awesome. I don't think there's a better connection between an American sports team and a European city than there is. The Saints wear a fleur-de-lis on their helmets. Then New Orleans going to Paris is maybe you could make an argument of Boston going to Dublin, but New Orleans going to Paris is an A-plus connection that I think there's going to be 10,000 New Orleanians in Paris, and I don't think French people have any idea what's about to hit them.
I know a lot of people are, they're making their plans now. They're looking for their flights without knowing exactly, who we're playing yet. They haven't announced that officially.
And no official date.
Right, but we hear it's coming.
We know it's definitely coming. It's definitely coming. The dates, we think we know the date. We think we know who they're playing. Yeah. We got to chill for a little bit until it actually comes out. Speaking
of a special year, of course, Drew gets announced as a member of the Hall of Fame. Wow, what a great guy, and that game's going to be fantastic too.
Yeah, just the whole thing. Since you called to ask me to do the show, I figured we'd be talking Saints and might be a little retrospective, but just Drew Brees getting into the Hall of Fame get you thinking about 06 and what that team did and what that team meant to this city. I mean, in 06, if you could find a hot lunch that day was a win. You know what I mean? Like, we were so beaten up.
Coming off of Katrina
and brain dead.
People needed something to believe in.
And it was the hope of a city, like, and all of us couldn't believe what we were getting, and it just kept getting better, and it gets to the NFC Championship game, and then in 09 to actually sort of finish the deal.
Yeah.
The 09 was just the most stunning sports year.
There's some parallels. There's some parallels to what we're going through right now, I think.
I think so. But there's nothing parallels Katrina.
No.
You know what I mean? I mean, for those of us who lived through it, I know you can relate. Yeah. Like, nothing parallels that. And
speaking of that 2006, the game, Atlanta Falcons, September 2006. You were there.
I was there. And in fact, we did a pregame. I worked at WGNO. We did a pregame show, which I produced. I still have it on the shelf above my desk. It was called Home in the Dome. I did a profile of your dad for that show. It was a 1-hour pregame show that we ran before the game, which, look, I thought it was excellent. Ed Daniels and I worked on that together for a while because it meant that much to us. And then, so what happened for me personally, I'm outside the dome as we're doing the show. So we finished the show and I went up to the press box, and I got up to the press box and I remember people just hugging because we hadn't seen everybody else in 2 years. As that pregame part was starting with Green Day and U2, I walked in and I was speechless for the next 20 minutes through the Steve Gleason block and all of that. Yeah, just an unbelievable event. I don't even consider that a sporting event. That was like a life-changing
I've never
event.
seen so many adults cry.
Yeah, and I couldn't make a sentence.
In a happy way.
In some kind of relief kind of way,
Yeah.
whatever it was. I'm not even sure what it was, but I was bawling like a baby.
Yeah, it was very special.
Yeah.
And I get chills even just watching.
Yeah, it was stunning, but I profiled your dad
Thank
in that
you for
show.
that. Yeah, Dad, who announced the Saints for 44 years.
He was the guy.
Yeah.
And look, he was such an embodiment of New Orleans that I thought that was the one story that I contributed to that show personally. Like, that was a story I personally wanted to do because I knew he could sort of say what New Orleanians were going through and what this meant in a way that others couldn't.
Sure.
Like, he was my symbol of New Orleans. All right, I need you to be our voice.
Well, thanks for that memory.
Yeah.
I
Oh, yeah.
appreciate that.
It's a strong memory. You brought up that day. That's what I think of.
So you sit on a number of juries, and I'm going to mention three particularly, and I'd like to talk about your experience. Sugar Bowl, they give out honors every year.
Yeah.
Saints Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Kenny Trahan has done with that organization, and then also the Heisman Trophy. What is it like being one of the votes there? And
it's interesting. Now, the Heisman Trophy is a little more, I mean, look, there's a couple thousand. I think there's 18 or 19 of us in the state of Louisiana. A guy named Scott Rabelais, who's been a long-time advocate, sports writer. He's based in Baton Rouge, sort of runs the Louisiana Heisman contingent. He asked me to do it about, I don't know, maybe 8 years ago or so. That is more, you're sort of on your own. There's not a lot of talking. There's not a lot of discussion. You're sort of on your own, and then you cast your vote. The other ones, for the Sugar Bowl, we do the Greater New Orleans Sports Hall of Fame. So there certainly is some debate. You bring up names. I usually try to pick one person in the group to pitch as this is a guy that I really think needs to get in. And then sort of the same with the Saints Hall of Fame. Some years the Saints Hall of Fame is a no-brainer, when Drew Brees is going in. Who's going to argue? You know what I mean? So somebody says, okay, Drew Brees, and everybody's like, yes, yes. But, you pitch and you listen to everybody else. Ro Brown is on those committees.
Yeah.
He's one guy, and I interned for Ro Brown a couple of years ago. And so when Ro talks, I'm like I'm taking notes. Like, that guy's probably got a vote. But I will say this, the committees I'm on, everybody takes it so seriously and with such care and with such, it's not a who I'm friends with, it's a who deserves it. And every time I go into one of those committees and vote, I feel better about the process because I see the effort and the interest and the listening that people put into it.
Yeah, and it talks about the talent that is in Louisiana.
Oh, well, that comes out
amazing.
crazy. I mean, we're looking at guys in the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, and the pitch will be, well, they're already in the College Football Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
They're already in a bunch of other Hall of Fames, and we haven't gotten around to them yet because our list is so good.
It's so large.
It's crazy.
So large. And speaking of talent, college baseball around here is just amazing, isn't it?
It is. The college baseball here is the best that it is in the country and has been since I was in college. But the New Orleans market, if you look at the College World Series ratings, even when LSU's not in it, the highest market, the market watching more college baseball than anybody else in the country is Baton Rouge, and then generally New Orleans is second. Like, New Orleans likes college baseball. It's a niche sport in most of the country. It's a minor sport. It barely exists in a lot of the country, and it's huge here. It is legitimate. You see LSU selling out its stadium. You go to Omaha, and I have been to Omaha, and when LSU's there, the stadium is half LSU, and the other 7 teams divide up the other half.
Yeah.
And it's amazing
And
to watch.
the retailers love LSU fans coming to Omaha.
Well, and I'll say this too: if you travel with LSU, right? And I've been to the LSU Alabama game in Tuscaloosa at least a half dozen times. If there's 20 Alabama fans and like 4 LSU fans, and they're going to be like, friendly jawing at each other, I'm always betting on the 4 LSU fans. For some reason, the Louisiana fans are louder and funnier than any other fan base in the country. And that's not me pandering. That's a fact.
And I bet you the Alabama fans have made their way over to the LSU fans where they're cooking jambalaya.
Oh, yeah, no question about it.
They're begging for food as
well.
And
you talk about 06 and 09. I remember going to those games. I was a news reporter then. So I hadn't come back to sports. I took a few years off to be a news reporter when my kids were little so I could be home for dinner every night. You can't do that when you do sports. And in 09, I went to Saints games. And the one thing that struck me about Saints games then, and my friends would do the big tailgating, was that everybody in the group, 50 or 60 people, would go out of their way if they saw somebody with an opposing team jersey and say, hey, you guys want something? Hey, look, have fun. Like, to be all of my friends without trying or being asked to were all ambassadors. Now, we all had that post-Katrina-ism still at that point. Like, we needed every tourist dollar we could get. You know what I mean? But the ambassadorship that you don't see in other cities, it strikes me from the tailgating at those Saints games. I'll never forget. And it wasn't, I did it too, but it wasn't me initiating it. It was everyone initiating this New Orleans brand.
It's the DNA that
it's kind of baked into us.
Exactly.
It really is. Like, we can't help it.
Come on
We're not
over to
going
my
to taunt
house.
other people. We might poke fun at you while serving you food.
Exactly.
Right, exactly.
The Atlanta Falcon fans are used to that, I think.
They are
But they still come. And
they come to eat.
Throngs because
in huge
they're going to get some jambalaya from somebody.
The treatment we get other places is never quite what they get when they come to us.
Yeah, we can name some cities.
We
won't go into that.
No, we will not.
We won't go into that. So, what does Doug Mouton do outside of sports? What do you enjoy besides sports, which you certainly enjoy?
Yeah, and look, a lot of you asked me that last night when I was home. When I got home, I watched 3 back-to-back spring training baseball games. So it does involve a lot of that. Look, I love cooking when I have a day off.
Yeah.
This past week I was off a day. I spent 8 hours. I cook more food than we can eat in a week just because I love doing. I love making cocktails.
It's good therapy.
That's a very New Orleans. I love playing golf. Terrible at it. Love playing. Never in a bad mood playing. I don't get how people get angry playing. I'm always just
And you're
happy.
on the North Shore.
And I'm on the North Shore.
One of our sponsors is Visit the North Shore.
Yeah, and I would encourage you to visit the North Shore.
We're very happy.
Yeah. And look, we moved there. I have an adult son now with autism. We moved there when he was a baby. His psychologist
And I know
recommended.
you and he are going to be out there watching some spring training.
We'll be out there next week. We'll be at spring training in Arizona. We go on a spring training trip. Now we've got 6 of us that go.
That's fantastic.
Spring training is weird, Mark.
I've never done that.
It's nothing
circuit.
like you've probably been to a million ball games like me. It's unlike any ball game you've ever seen. Nobody's screaming. Nobody cares who wins. Everybody's in a good mood.
Weather's usually good because
the weather's always
that's why
good.
Spring training is
it's
there.
Always good. The vibes are unbelievable. To me, it is for me, with football season is so all encompassing that spring training is sort of the detox.
That's great. Well, wish you well. When we get into the draft and we're looking at the season, as the season comes out for the Saints, I'd like to have you come back.
I'd love to.
Do some prognostications.
Oh, anytime.
And
I'll have some better ideas then.
And we can talk about Paris.
Yeah. I'm hoping we're able to go. You got to get the budget approvals.
Me too.
Yeah, right. I feel, I don't know, cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I hate to say it, I'm very democratic about our who goes on what trips. Like we took 6 Saints trips last year. We did a draft between 3 of us. We each got 2 trips. We each picked the ones we want. I hate to say it. Paris is the one I'm going to take that one. I'll give everybody else a choice after that.
All right,
but
the
if we
sports
go to
director
Paris,
is
it'll be
going
me
to Paris.
Yeah.
Yes, that's great. Well, thank you for being with us, and it's so good to see you again.
Anytime.
All right, Doug. Hey, y'all, go ahead and hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel and turn on your notifications. Please follow us. We've got new shows each and every week. And a very, very special thanks to all of our sponsors who are making this possible. Have a great day, and we'll see you next week.